Hello and welcome back to my channel. I cannot believe I am filming this video. My name is Vicky and this is my 40-week pregnancy update. 40 weeks. Actually, I'm not feeling too bad. I do want to meet him, but I am now 40 plus 2 when I'm filming this, 40 plus 3 when this goes live. And well, hopefully not, hopefully I've had the baby, but I think this baby is going to follow his brother's suit and he is going to be 10 days overdue and induced. So there we are. Symptoms that I'm feeling at the moment is just lack of sleep. I actually didn't wake up too many times for the toilet last night, but it's just aches and pains, just feel uncomfortable. Constantly worry about him moving. I had a little bit of an episode yesterday, so I will run through with that with you in a little while. So I'm just going to run through the symptoms that I've been feeling this last week since I last updated you. So nothing's changed much really. I don't feel massively impatient to meet him because I know I'm going to meet him soon. But I do feel impatient in a sense of I cannot stop worrying. So my levels are through the roof. This last week is always the hardest and I have concerns about his movements sometimes. And basically I went for my 40-week appointment on Monday, so it is now Tuesday. So I went for my 40-week appointment yesterday and I was booked in for a stretch and sweep. So I was driving to the hospital in the morning and baby doesn't move much in the morning anymore, but usually I would lie on my side on the sofa, have a cold drink and then feel him kick and it would settle me. Didn't feel him move the whole way to the hospital. It was about a 10-minute drive and I was on my own and I couldn't make him move and I just got into a real panic state and just burst into tears, really upset. Didn't know what to do. Sounds really irrational, but anyone in my position will probably understand how that feels. So anyway, I got there and had no one to talk to because I didn't have anyone with me, which is fine. But because of that, I held it all in. So when I'm sat in the waiting room, all I'm thinking is he's not moving, he's not moving, he's not moving, he's not moving. But I've got no one to offload to, not even a child for a distraction because my husband took Oscar to work with him. Because I was having a sweep, I didn't want to take him with me. Otherwise, he would normally be with me. Anyway, sat in the waiting room, she called me in and she said those words which were, "How are you feeling?" Well, you can imagine what I did. I was like, oh, I burst into tears because it's like when that first person says to you, "Are you okay?" And I burst into tears and she was like, "Oh my goodness, what's the matter?" I said, "Oh, I'm just really paranoid, I haven't felt him move." And she said, "Right, let's listen to his heartbeat because that will make you feel better." So obviously she put the Doppler on my tummy and as soon as I heard his heartbeat, I cried even more out of relief because I was like, oh my goodness. But she said, "Look, I don't feel comfortable to do the stretch and sweep. I want to send you to go and be monitored because you're worried. We need to check it out." I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm really happy with that. I want to be. So I went to Chippenham to be monitored. I got monitored, but unfortunately we had to phone Swindon because that's where I'm having the baby. And Swindon said, "You got to come in, we need to scan you." I think they're very cautious when you're late in your pregnancy. So I went over to Swindon. So I literally left the house at 8:30 yesterday. I didn't get home till like 4:30. I went to Swindon Hospital and they scanned me and they said he's fine. He is head down. He's estimated 8 pounds, 7 ounces, so quite sizable. The level of the fluid is what they were checking for, so the amniotic fluid, did he have enough, was it all okay? They were quite happy with that, but the doctor did say to me, "You have any more episodes, you come in, so if you feel he's not moving tomorrow, you come in and we'll induce you." So I then left the hospital thinking, I've got a decision to make really here, because if I'm going to continue to worry, is it better just to get him out? So me and my husband sat down last night. And my husband's basically like, you do what you feel comfortable with. He said, it's your body. Yes, it's my baby, but you do whatever makes you happy. And I sat there and I thought, I'm not going to phone them up tomorrow and say, I can't feel him move if I can, because I feel like that's tempting fate. And I'm a great believer of you shouldn't do that because it's tempting fate. It's as simple as that. But I said that I would phone them up and say, I constantly worry. Do you think it's worth me coming in? So I phoned her up this morning and I said, look, when you spoke to me yesterday, you were very adamant that I had to come in for an induction if I had reduced movement. And she said, have you had reduced movement? I said, no, not today, but I will do at some point because I always think it. And but I think it's me being paranoid. She said, that's fine. If you feel like that again, you come in. So that's where we're at now. I personally would like to go into labour naturally, but equally, if I'm going to be mega anxious and have any more episodes where I think he's not moving, I'll be going in. I'm always poking him and prodding him. I know they've got less room to move, but the worry never ever stops, does it? And I would really love to go into labour naturally, not be induced, but I feel like if I'm going to guess this pregnancy and how it's going to end in induction, because it's either going to end in an induction because I haven't felt a move, or it's going to end in an induction because I'm 10 days overdue, because their policy is 10 days. So by the time this goes live, I've got 7 days left maximum. So really excited about that. I will hopefully not be filming a 41-week pregnancy update, but I may be. But that is my little story anyway. Apart from that, I don't really have any major symptoms apart from not sleeping and feeling anxious. Those are my two major symptoms. I'll just give you a bit of a bump update. So here is my 40-week bump. A lot of people have said it's dropped. I don't think it's grown much in the last week really, but there we are. I think I've avoided stretch marks at the moment, although there is this little red mark here. I'm not too sure what that is, but we'll see when the tummy goes down. But yeah, super happy with the way he's growing. So that was my bump. In terms of what I've done to get this labour going, what haven't I done? So I was told by a midwife that the only proven way to get labour started is nipple stimulation and sex, of which I've tried both. The nipple stimulation freaked me out a little bit, so I did a bit of research, and basically a lot of women had used a breast pump, so you didn't have to actually do it yourself, you just use a breast pump. So I have done that 2 nights in a row with I think 15 minutes on each side and then another 5 minutes on each side, so I spent like 40 minutes doing this. It hasn't worked. I have burnt clary sage in the house, I've had clary sage in my bath, I have eaten spicy curry, I have gone on a long walk. Oh, the long walk. So last Friday I went on a 3-hour walk. Didn't intend to do 3 hours, but I did. I was absolutely exhausted when I got home. About a couple of hours after I got home, I started having some pains and they wouldn't go away. And I was like, okay, this is really weird. And after about an hour, I said to Simon, I think I'm in labour. So I started having these pains and then they started to come like regularly. So they were really irregular, and then I started timing them. I actually had to go and lie on the bed because I was in so much discomfort downstairs. So I started timing them and I had 2 contractions, both lasting about a minute and 10 seconds. And they were about 20 minutes apart. So I had those 2 and I started texting people. I texted my mum, I said I think I'm going into labour. And literally after the second one, after an hour and a half of pains, nothing. That was last Friday. It is now Wednesday by the time this goes live. Well, it's now Tuesday when I'm filming this. And I've had nothing. So when what I missed out when after this whole hoo-ha with his movements yesterday, I did have an attempted stretch and sweep, and she basically couldn't reach my cervix because it was so far back, it was posterior. So I've got another sweep booked for Friday. So I'm hoping that I've either had the baby by then or that sets things off. If they can even do it. If they can't do it, then they can't do it. It is what it is. You know, he's going to be here in a week regardless, so I'm quite happy with that. I just really don't want to have any reduced movements again. It's Oscar's first day back at school tomorrow, so I would love him to get his first week out of the way before we kind of disrupt his routine with a baby, because the reality is if we don't have the baby at the weekend and it's on a weekday, he's going to have to miss some time at school because we don't really have anyone here locally that has offered to drop him at school for us. So yeah, basically Simon's mum's gonna have him and she lives a little bit of a way away near the hospital. So Oscar's gonna have some time off school, and it would be preferable if it wasn't this week because it's his first week back in year 1, my baby. So yeah, that's it really. That's how I've been feeling. I'm not going to go onto my app because I've read my app, and you know what, it just says the same as it did last week. Like, you're ready to meet your baby, these are the things you can try at home, these are the things you can't try at home. I've had some people message me, say things like do a DIY membrane sweep, but I've read it's really not safe, so definitely not going to be doing that. Definitely not going to be doing anything that's unsafe. Someone also suggested evening primrose oil, and I actually went and bought it. There's so much contradicting information on the internet as to whether it's safe or not, and I did ask a midwife and she said it's safe but it won't do anything. I just decided against it. I just decided I'm not going to do anything like that. If my body is ready, then it will do it. So I will try the nipple stimulation again, just because that's a natural way of kind of going into labour, because it releases oxytocin into your body. So I'm going to try that one more time maybe, and then let you know if it works. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. I had something delivered the other day which has got our baby's name on it, so I had something made personalised, so that's kind of made it all real. Although I'm still like 90% on his name, so we'll see when he's here. I don't know. I keep going backwards and forwards, but I think I'm sure that's what I want to call it. I'm just not 100% sure. But yeah, that is it. So that is my 40-week update. I really hope I'm not updating you at 41 weeks, but I probably will be. So I hope that helped anyone, and I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to give me a huge thumbs up, click the subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you.